Intuitive Souls. I'm Rachel Sawani. Welcome to my channel, Intuitive Soul Rising, where I share channeled messages from higher dimensional beings of love and light for soul growth and ascension, and where we talk about all topics related to the spiritual awakening process and how you can align with your higher selves and life's purpose. So interesting enough, when I asked who wanted to step forward for this message, it was Melchizedek, and his energy comes in really strong for me. I'm feeling him right now actually, because I've already asked him to step forward, but he comes in. I feel a lot of heart expansion, but I also feel a lot of energy around my crown, the back of my head especially, and neck. It's just, and even in my third eye also, it's just lots of energy usually comes through with him. So let us know how you sense his energy in the comments below. Melchizedek is one of the first high priests mentioned in the Bible who helped teach all of the great masters that came after him. He is known as an ascended master, and he is also known to have lives as Merlin and an Atlantis priest. So in his Atlantean lives, he served the divine feminine. He's highly associated with the Christ consciousness energy. And he's also known to be somewhat of a wizard. So how do we tell the difference between when our ego is talking and when our intuition is talking? If you have any tips for us, Melchizedek, we would love to hear them. So I'm going to just tune into him now and see what he would like to share. He's kind of just laughing and just taking a minute to gather his thoughts, I feel like. But yeah, it's the feeling is like it's simple, but it's as simple or as complicated as you would like to make it, is what I'm hearing and sensing. But he's saying the goal, the purpose with intuition is to really follow your heart, is really learning to listen to your heart. So that is what intuition is all about. It's following the guidance of your heart and using your heart to discern what is truth and what is false, or what is fake, he's saying. And he's showing that being of the ego, what is fake. What is an illusion? He's clarifying. He's saying because in a sense, the ego was created to be a tool or a point of reference for your identity, is to serve your identity, your true identity, is what he's saying. So the ego is a servant to your true identity, is what he's saying now, clarifying. And it is your true identity that is what your heart knows. That is what your heart speaks from truth, he's saying. So over-identifying with the ego takes the power away from your heart to decide or make choices or conscious choices that are in alignment with your highest good. He's saying the purpose of life is to have joy, is to feel fulfilled on every level, on a soul, but he's highlighting on a soul level, which is a spiritual level, he's saying. So bringing into your awareness, or drawing forth all of your faculties from your spiritual self, your emotional self, your higher self. It's like all of these aspects, and then the different aspects of your personality really come together in a centered and balanced way. helps you to integrate or process what it is the soul is saying. He's saying the soul speaks in many dimensions and many forms, not just necessarily through your desires, although that is where your truth testing ability comes in. Does it give you love, or does it take the feeling of love away? So again, if it's giving you love, if it's giving you a sense of power, empowerment, security, fulfillment on a deeper level, he's saying, on a higher level, he's saying, so that's really what he wants to clarify about, when it comes to listening to your intuition, are the choices you're making in alignment with your higher self? Are they helping you to tune, like a tuning fork, your awareness to what matters from a higher perspective, or from what matters or what is fulfilling on a spiritual level? So you're seeking fulfillment on all levels. So he's showing, again, like physical, emotional, spiritual. You have many different aspects. You're a multidimensional being. You have multidimensional aspects of yourself, and all of them, from a soul's perspective, are seeking fulfillment of some sort, are seeking a sense of enjoyment or satisfaction. And he's saying, when you're able to draw forth energy from, or create energy, or manifest in a way that serves this higher purpose of your body, mind, and soul, then you are, in truth and essence, living a divine life, because you are being called to action, and you're doing what you are being called to. You're doing what brings you joy and what brings others joy. So service to others is an important component of what it means to draw forth your power, because your ability to give to others, give and share your abilities, your talents, your skills, your love with others, is really what is the key to fulfillment on many different levels. So he wants you to learn how to tune in to the impact that you want to have on others. So what do you feel called or guided to do? So this is your intuition. Your fear, or what causes you fear, what causes you anxiety, is a lack or inability to follow your heart, to listen to your intuition, to give your mind or the ego more like the senses mastery, or more of a higher role than it is due. It's there to serve your heart as it's a servant to your heart. So it goes with the direction and the flow of where your heart is leading. It allows your heart to lead and guide you. So if you're coming from a place of anxiety, fear, resistance, if you're making choices and decisions from this place, you're making them in a place that is out of alignment with your higher self. That is, your higher self does not have this experience. Your higher self feels empowered, feels centered, feels grounded and balanced within, has purpose, has meaning, So when you're making, the feeling is like when you're reacting out of a fear-based way of thinking or out of anxiety or insecurity, you're not in alignment with your higher self, with your higher purpose. And it is time to take a step back and reflect on the status of your condition, he's saying, but it feels like he's wanting you to take a step back and release the fear, release the anxiety, do what is necessary to get yourself to a place where you're in alignment. And you're just feeling like overflowing with energy or joy, or just feeling more centered and balanced. It's like you're almost coming from a more neutral perspective, but you're seeking or able to see clearly where you actually want to go. So when your heart is calling you one direction and you're feeling there's a block to move in that direction, it's time to look at the block. It's time to look at the challenge. And he's saying and showing that sometimes these challenges come up as physical manifestations of blocks or obstacles in our path. So we may be drawn to do something, but we may go that direction, and then there might be a challenge that comes up or a block to getting that. A lot of us, he's saying, take that as a sign that that's not the right choice, when in case it might be the right choice, but it was that very obstacle or challenge that was needed for our growth, so that we can take the path of least resistance, so that we can learn how to overcome that fear or overcome that obstacle. And all of it is about living with joy, he's saying. So he keeps highlighting the word joy. It's almost like learn to look at the obstacles in your life as not obstacles, but as creative opportunities to manifest, or to manifest what it is you do want. So there are times where things come in, stand in our way of what we want. But if we view them with a positive outlook, as if this challenge is here to teach us something that we need to know on our way towards that manifestation or goal or outcome, then we are essentially tapping into our higher creative abilities, our higher awareness to see beyond all obstacles, to see everything as having a purpose and a meaning for us. So living intuitive based or intuitive led gives your life meaning and purpose, and you feel in alignment even when things appear to go wrong. You don't take them necessarily as blocks or obstacles. You look at them, you embrace them, he's showing, almost as if like laughingly, like, oh, that's so funny or interesting. I'm curious how or why that manifested in that way. And you don't necessarily take it as a sign you're on the wrong path. That's where a lot of people go wrong. He's saying people take a wrong turn when they start to feel or sense that there are too many blocks or challenges coming up. These are just the blocks that are coming up to be cleared, because there was some resistance. There's some resistance in the flow of energy that is slowing it down a little bit, but there is purpose and meaning behind everything. And you will see, he's saying, as it manifests, as things begin to manifest, as you begin to trust in the process, trust in the universe to support and back you, trust in everything is divine timing and happening in the right moment, you will become more trusting in your own intuitive process. So by going with the flow, going with where your intuition is leading you, what is top priority in this moment, what do you intuitively feel in any given moment is where you need to be and where you need to be focusing your attention, is really the questions to be asking. And notice, he's saying, the ego will give you a knee-jerk, or notice when you're having a knee-jerk reaction to something. Notice when somebody tells you something and you immediately go into like a fear mode or panic mode or anxiety mode. Notice when you're getting thoughts in your head and those thoughts are giving you a feeling of panic, lack of control, like anxiety to take action, like in that moment, to get a grip on it. It's really the feeling behind the thought that is going to give you a sense of whether it's truly your intuition talking or if it's your ego. He's showing, because intuition, he's saying, is neutral, is a higher based awareness that is neutral in its expression of it's not necessarily emotional, but it will get you excited. It will give you a sense of heart expansion, is what he's showing. So your heart will start to expand. You'll get you might get like a nervous excitement about it, and the nervous anticipation of what it would mean if you were to take that step, if you really feel into it. But essentially, you get a feeling of heart expansion at the idea of pursuing that or doing that. And then also, I think he's referring to like what, when we're thinking about steps to take on our path and what we want to do next, those types of things. But even in moments where you're just, going about your day and learning how to tune into your intuition, what to do next, you can, there's not a lot of feeling behind it. It's just like, this is what to do. That's what to do. But the anxiety and the rush of that feeling is when you get this like rush of feeling and anxiety, he's saying, to take a step back in those moments, to calm that energy down, allow that energy to calm. First, calm the energy, he's saying. Do not make the decision. Do not let your ego pressure you into making a decision in a state of chaos, he's saying, in a state of emotional upheaval, he's saying, where you've got anxiety or this, where your thoughts are shooting at you like this, like so fast, like a super highway of information. He's saying, take a step back, clear your mind, step into your place of center. He's showing even like meditation. You don't have to meditate necessarily, but just take some deep breaths to like clear that energy out. Then tune into your heart. Then consciously and with awareness, draw your awareness to your heart, or ask for your guides to give you, to help you align with your higher self, with your highest timeline or highest flow, or align with the flow of divine love. All of those ways all of those expressions are ways you can ask for help. I've used some of that. I use these myself, so I think that's what he's kind of giving me. He's wanting me to share that with you. But essentially, it's about tuning your awareness, and learning how to see the difference between when the ego is speaking and being pushy. The ego is trying to control the situation so it can get, so it can be comfortable, so it can, it's demanding. He's saying the ego is demanding in its desire to control the outcome. But the illusion of the ego and control is that you only have control over your inner self, your inner thoughts, and the ways that you respond and react. You do not necessarily have control over how they manifest, but you do have control on what you tune your awareness to and what you give your energy to. And through the law of attraction, you then can create your reality by aligning with higher thoughts and higher awareness, you manifest higher frequencies or situations that bring in abundance and a feeling of positivity. So it's like a two-way street. It's always working in that manner, but our ability to really tune our thoughts, tune our awareness, become more conscious of the ways we might be self-sabotaging or giving the ego too much attention or allowing the ego to sort of dictate, or our feelings even in the moment to dictate our moods and our choices and our actions, is really where we need to be careful, he's saying, because we really need to be our intuition is always coming from like a balanced and centered place that doesn't have a lot of anxiety or fear attached to it, or resistance attached to it, or demands attached to it. It's just a simple knowing. It's like a knowing of what to do next. And then our heart leads us in that way, because our heart tells us what is joy, what is fulfilling for us and what is not fulfilling for us. So there are times where we might intuitively be guided, he's saying, to do something that later we say, oh, that's actually not what I want to do. But knowing that because we were guided and in a place of going with the flow and being open to all possibilities, open to all outcomes, we are likely to have an experience that will move us closer to the direction we do want to go. So it's also, he's showing learning how to look at all of our experiences as part of the master plan, as having something to teach us. And he's saying the ego has a way of labeling things as good or bad, right or wrong, and that is sort of not in truth the reality of it. The reality is everything is here to teach us lessons. All of our experiences can be teachers. Every moment can be a teachable moment. It's just how we use our awareness to bring that lesson into consciousness. And the only way to really do that is to be able to take a neutral perspective and take a step back and learn through practice when we feel in alignment and out of alignment. When we feel we are following our intuition, he's saying we will feel in alignment energetically, and we will feel more of an inner peace of mind, because even if things don't go as planned, he's saying we will feel intuitively like we did the right thing. We followed our gut and that was what we were supposed to do, and that sometimes we don't even know why in the moment that was supposed to happen. Sometimes we don't find out the why till months or even years later, depending on, the situation. But he's kind of asking you also to just take a minute to look back on your life and moments that you made choices that felt like the right choice, but sometimes didn't turn out the way you planned in that moment. And then you look back now and see, well, that's why that had to be that way. I didn't know how that experience was going to lead to this, and that inadvertently. So he's showing that we always envision ourselves as taking a straight path to get what we want or to manifest what we want, but it's more like a crooked path to get there. So there's many deviations, or what appears to be deviations off the path, but they are purposely or divinely planned. So trust in the universe and that you are being guided on the right path, and learn how to tune into your intuition by not giving in to the reactions and the demands of the ego, by learning how to take a step back when you feel out of alignment. Okay, so I just really went into the flow on that one and let the thoughts that he was dropping into my head come in free flow without, having to question too much of what he was even saying. So I feel that was a very beautiful message. And I feel it was really helpful for us to hear that from time to time, because it is easy to get distracted by everything going on in our lives, and then even the ego can be a very distracting and sometimes misleading as to what is the best choice for us in any given moment. So thank you, Melchizedek, for stepping forward with that and for helping to clarify that for us. I hope that message was helpful for you in some way. If it was, please be sure to like the video, and please also subscribe to my channel so that I can help to grow and expand and support more people in their own process of awakening. Thank you again for joining, and we will see you next time. Bye.